Fabio Wardley shocks the world and stops Joseph Parker in an absolutely incredible heavyweight contest. What a fight! My goodness, what an incredible fight. I have to give Fabio Wardley a lot of credit for this fight. I picked Joseph Parker to win this fight between round 6 and round 10. And I was wrong. And I hold my hands up because Fabio Wardley surprised me in this fight. He fought better than I thought he would. And my God, did he deserve the win. Yes, we can talk about a stoppage because I think it was a little bit early. But Fabio Wardley got Joseph Parker in that position for the referee to want to stop that fight. That is what it boils down to. Fabio Wardley got Joseph Parker in a compromised position for the referee to want to make that decision to stop the fight. What a fight. What an upset win. And now he goes on to fight Alexander Usyk. Look, I made a number of previews before this fight. And one thing that I said about Fabio Wardley is that he was unpredictable. That is all you saw in this fight. He doesn't have the best boxing background. He doesn't come from 300 or 500 amateur background boxing. All he has is instincts and the ability to fight. And that is what we saw. Because in this fight, Joseph Parker was actually outboxing Fabio Wardley in a lot of the rounds. And then, all of a sudden, in round 11, he lands that shot and put Joseph Parker on the back foot, on the ropes, and stops him. Look, round 1 was the round where Joseph Parker started going. Joseph put Fabio Wardley on the back foot and he was landing some really good shots. And I think Joseph Parker hurt Fabio Wardley in round 1. Now, he could not capitalize on that. And then round 2 happened. And that was a massive round for Fabio Wardley because he landed an absolutely incredible right hand cross on Joseph Parker's chin. And Parker was hurt. Parker was hurt in round 2 and he kept going backwards and Fabio followed up. He could not get rid of Parker, but you could see that Parker was very hurt from round 2 and Parker took off round 3 and then he started going after round 5 because round 3 and round 4 Parker took it off because he was hurt and Fabio was having joy in the fight. After round 2, Fabio started to feel confident. In round 3, he started to land some really good shots. You could see that Parker was really hurt in that fight. In round 4, Fabio went on the attack again and started landing some really good shots. And Parker seemed like he needed to get his legs back underneath him. And then round 5, Joseph Parker started boxing again. He started landing some really good shots and I think he hurt Fabio Wardley in round 5. But of course, he could not capitalize on that. Round 6, Joseph Parker goes in the attack and he has a very good round again. And it just seemed like Joseph Parker was running away with the fight and he was comfortable. And one thing I thought was missing from Joseph Parker's game was that he wasn't using his jab enough. Jab, double jab, and then the right hand, it was missing. But Joseph Parker was doing enough to win the rounds. Round 7, Joseph Parker looking good. Fabio Wardley though, one thing I must say is that he was competitive in this fight. I must say that. He stayed competitive. He stayed punching with Joseph Parker. He stayed making Joseph Parker aware that he was in that ring. And every time that Joseph Parker would make a mistake, he would make him pay. And that's exactly what we saw Fabio Wardley do. He was punching with Joseph Parker. He was hitting Joseph Parker with hard shots. And at times, you saw that Joseph Parker was circumspect to come in and make sure that he doesn't take something when he comes out. So when he goes on the attack, before he comes out, Joseph Parker was very aware not to take shots because he knew that Fabio Wardley was dangerous and Fabio was dangerous. Round 8, Joseph Parker goes on attack again and he starts landing some really good shots. And guess what? Fabio Wardley also had success in round 8. Round 9 was a very good round and Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley were both competitive in round 9. Round 10, it seemed as though both fighters were really, really tired. You could see in Joseph Parker's demeanor, he needed to take some rounds off. You could see in Fabio Wardley's demeanor, he needed to take some round off. By round 10, I had given the fight to Joseph Parker because I thought that he was cruising from round 5 onwards in that fight. He was landing really good jabs. He was landing the double left hook, because he was hooking off the jab, and he was really having good success. And Fabio Wardley looked like he was being outboxed in there. He looked like he needed to find something. He needed to do something to change the course of the fight. And I think that is something that is a mark of a very good fighter, is when they can find something to change the trajectory of a fight. And I think that's what Fabio Wardley did in round 11. In round 11, ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Parker had a bit of success. Fabio Wardley lands an uppercut and a right hand. Joseph Parker was out on his feet. He was all over the ring. Yes, he was throwing some shots, but Fabio Wardley was landing some really good shots in there. Joseph Parker was out on the ring. He was wailing everywhere. The crowd was up. It just looked like an incredible heavyweight contest. And then Fabio Wardley kept punching. Now, what happened here, and I think we've seen this in so many fights, is that when the fighter that's taking the punishment is not giving a lot back, the referee will stop the fight. At some point, I thought the referee was going to stop it, but Joseph Parker started throwing back. And then Fabio Wardley lands another uppercut. Joseph Parker gets back on the ring, and then the referee steps in because Joseph Parker was not throwing at that point. But Fabio Wardley was just straight up shooting. He was just straight up just throwing punches to the body. He was smothering his work, but he was landing as well. And Joseph Parker was just hurt. He was busted up. There was blood all over his face. Joseph Parker just looked like a beaten man in there. In round 11, when Fabio Wardley landed that shot, Joseph Parker looked like someone that was beaten. He looked like a man that has had enough, because the shots that Fabio Wardley was landing were very hard, and they were taking, or they were having effect on Joseph Parker. What a win. What a story for Fabio Wardley, because now he goes on to fight Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. What a win. What a story. I picked Joseph Parker to win this fight. I was wrong. A lot of people in the comment section picked Joseph Parker to win this fight, because if you look at it, Fabio Wardley do not have the experience that Joseph Parker has. If you think about it, Joseph Parker is many years ahead of Fabio Wardley. He has so much experience compared to Fabio Wardley. Joseph Parker is years and years ahead. But there is something special about the heavyweight division. One punch can change everything. And as long as a fighter has got the heart, the ability, the stamina to stay in the fight, he always had a chance. And Fabio Wardley had a puncher's chance tonight. He did. He had a punch. All he had was a puncher's chance. And that puncher's chance, because he punches so hard, because he's so unpredictable that you do not know what he's going to do next, it is hard to read. And that puncher's chance landed tonight. As he's done in his previous fights, he's found a way to land that shot. And tonight, he landed that shot. And Joseph Parker, unfortunately, was beaten by a fighter that is not as good as him technically, but definitely a fighter that punched harder than him on the night, because Fabio Wardley was hurt in this fight. But it seemed as though Fabio Wardley hurt Joseph Parker much worse in this fight than Joseph Parker hurt Fabio Wardley. What a fight. What an advertisement for heavyweight boxing. This is an incredible heavyweight boxing match that you just cannot take your eyes off, because of the fight, because of the flow, because of both fighters having the ability to knock each other out. And Fabio Wardley proves again that in the heavyweight division, you do not have to be the best boxer. What you have to do is that you should be able to punch, and you should be able to stay in that fight, and the ability to take shots as well. And Fabio Wardley proved that tonight. All credit to him. For Joseph Parker, I said in a few videos ago, I said that Joseph Parker should not have taken this fight, because I thought he deserved his opportunity to fight Alexander Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world. And I thought that he did not have to take this fight, because I always thought that this was a dangerous fight. Although I picked him to win, I thought it was dangerous because Fabio Wardley is always dangerous. And a fighter that can punch, that has got heart, that is unpredictable, is always, always dangerous. And that's exactly what we saw in this fight. You guys get in the comment section and let me know what you thought about this fight. What was your prediction? Are you surprised? Because I am. I did not expect Fabio Wardley to do that. And I said that I would probably regret my prediction. And I think I have now, because something was telling me that Fabio Wardley was going to land something big. And that's exactly what we saw here. Get in the comment section and let me know what you think about it. My name is Bright. This is the Bright Show Podcast Boxing. Thank you for watching. And I'll see you guys on the next one.